Hi, Lauren. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Wasn't sure if anyone would be around because I went a little early today. Can you hear me okay? Hi, Lori. Welcome in. Today I was going to do a little watercoloring in using three different mediums to watercolor. And I started off with this Mei Made It stamp set. This is one of my favorites. I feel like it's very versatile. I can use it all year long, and it's called Sunflower Wishes. I used this in a stamp set recently that I made on my channel, so you can check that out if you're interested. That one was just regular colored pencil on Bristol vellum cardstock, which helped me learn that vellum isn't always translucent. And so I stamped this a few times. I just used this large stamp here. And what I wanted to do today was try, like I said, different mediums. So I have, this is in the wrong tin. This is where I keep my paints. The ones, I have these watercolor paints in tubes, and I put them in the little pans myself. And these little pans usually come with magnets so they can fit in any tin, and they just happen to really fit in these flat tins really well. Hi Rose, welcome. I also have these Nuvo pencils. These are ones that I got from the Mei Made It store. This was about a year ago, so I don't know if they still have these in the store, but I have not only these Nuvo ones, but I also have a set of Derwent watercolor pencils. And so I don't know if I'll use both of those or not. But the first thing that I wanted to do is use my Real Brush pens. And these are the Arteza brand. And I haven't used them very much. The first times that I used them, I think I didn't really know what I was doing, and I got frustrated because I felt like the watercolor or the color wouldn't flow out very well. But it turns out that you have to, use it with water and a water brush and, a water source. So what I was going to do today is pick out some colors and paint up one of these with these Real Brush markers. Using, I think this is the water brush pen that comes with this set. I got this set as a Christmas gift from my work a couple years ago. And I'm going to lay down water first and then lay down the color. So that should help me. And then I'll move on to these other mediums. Mediums. I'm going to pop open my soda, though, take a drink real quick, because that's my fuel. How's everyone doing tonight? Did everyone get a chance to craft this weekend? So, let's see. So I'm just really going to play with the colors that I have here and not really worry about what color a sunflower is. Because in my heart, all flowers are every color. I really like this tealy color. I'm just picking out some ones that I like. Red, orange, yellow. Let's do a minty green. There are so many to choose from here. Green. This blue's pretty dark though. Let's see. darker than that one. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll set these aside. And I should probably pick out a couple so I can try shading them. I'm not really good at that even when I have control over it in a pencil, so I don't know that I'm going to be able to do very well in a brush marker, but we'll give it a shot. Here's a darker orange color. How about this one? That's between the orange and the yellow. And so I understand that I should be able to color in some of these areas. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of water. So I stamped these on watercolor cardstock. This is Canson XL. It's like 140 pounds. It's very sturdy. The only thing I know about watercolor paper is that I buy it when it's on sale. And I stick with usually Canson or Strathmore just because those are the brands that I see people who know what they're doing use. So that's what I have today. I also used my Misty, my stamping platform, because when you're stamping on watercolor paper, it's very textured. So some of the impressions I had to do twice in order to get a good full impression. And then of course I used VersaFine Onyx Black to stamp with because it'll take watercolor. This is how I do my ink pads. I put little reminders with little a label maker of what I can and can't use with this ink pad. So there's quite a bit of water on here, which will dilute the color. Also though, I had these stored up until this morning horizontally instead of vertically, and so I read this morning that you have to kind of store them vertically in order to get a good in order for the color to be at the brush. So they did sit for like 8 hours or so that way, but they haven't been used in quite some time and sat the wrong direction. So I feel like I'm having trouble with this guy. The one about the labels on the ink pads, Lauren? Yeah, it's my cheater method. It's like, oh yeah, I know all of the things as long as they are sitting on top of the ink pad when I grab it. All right, I'm not having any luck with these, and I don't know if it's because they're old. Let's try a different color. Whoa. See, maybe I should have started with an actual color that sunflowers are. Yeah, sometimes I found myself going back to YouTube or to Google a lot trying to figure out what ink went with what. And I don't have all of them that way, but like I have on the black ones that I use for mostly for alcohol and for watercolor, I do all of those. And then on I try to keep a note on what will stay sticky long enough that you can put embossing powder on it, because that's always one that I'm not sure about. And some of them are really good about saying they're good for watercolor. Like this one has information on the back that clearly says perfect for using watercolor. But who even remembers that that information is back there? Or can read it without a magnifier? Okay, so I think what I'm learning is that I didn't need all of this water at the beginning. I think that the brush nib on the red got too saturated with water, so it diluted everything too much. And I did stamp these on top of each other. I like to do that periodically. It gives it just a little bit of a different look, especially if you're using something where the colors can blend in together nicely. I'll just overlap them. Yeah, this is super vibrant now. I was just doing it wrong. I don't know that all stamp manufacturers have information on the bottom like that. I know that one does. I know this is supposed to be watercolor, but I made a video recently where I was talking about how I think having, even when I use a pan watercolor as like a regular watercolor, I like it to be a little opaque and not super wispy and watercolory. I mean, I don't know if it has to do with just wanting more control over it, but um, I tend to, like, I kept adding layers, even though a watercolor look could definitely be like that. Let's try this one. Oh, there we go. I think there was just too much water before. Hi, Vet. Welcome. Thanks for joining. How was work today? I'm just doing a little bit of coloring, and I'm using these stamps today, or some May May stamps today. I started out with this one. me. This one? Which one was that? That's this one. Let's try this guy. This one looks almost neon. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna find a light, maybe a light. Pink, blue. Maybe I'll use this for the middle. Or this one. They're not that much different. Thank you. This is one of my favorite Maymay stamps. I was saying earlier that I feel like I can use it all year long. And I feel like flowers are really good, especially this kind of flower that, I don't know, doesn't look too, I mean, it looks great. And I don't want to say it doesn't look super feminine, like that's a bad thing. But I feel like it can be on any kind of a card too. Not that I care. If I send a guy a card, you're lucky you got a card. So, you know, don't worry about it too much. Oh, jeez. It's getting everywhere. Guess that's what watercolors do. Thanks for joining us, Lauren. Have a great day or night. Thanks for stopping by. ended up using this one and this one, right? Or was it this one? I don't know. So let's see what else we can do here. Pretty sure these middle things should have some brown. Let's see. This one maybe? Let's try this one. So I did a survey on my channel on the community tab last week, I think it was, and I asked people what else they watch on YouTube aside of craft videos, and I put the options were crime, just regular news, gaming, food, crime, news, gaming, food, and what's the other thing? I can't remember what the other thing was. But anyway, of the people who took my survey, which was only just a little, I think it was 21 people, crime won as their secondary what they watch YouTube for. And I'm assuming that means true crime, but I'm not sure. I'll have to do a secondary one. It's like we just all only tune in to watch when people like Johnny Depp are in a public trial. I'm not sure that looks good, but let's see. Oh, this is too dark for this. Let's see. It's darker than I expected it to be. But I will just use some water and brush it out some. This is sunset yellow. Oh. I think I just made it worse. Wonder how much water it'll take me to wash that color out there. Just gonna make a hole in the paper. Oops. Oh, I thought beading is crafting though. At least one person put gaming, so I just assume that's one of my stepkids decided to vote in the survey. Hi, Bev. How are you doing tonight? Thanks for joining us. I'm just making a mess with some stamps and real brush pens right now. So I just am taking a regular brush and going to try to make this less noticeable right here. It's working, but I'm not sure if it's working just because it's still wet. We'll see what it looks like when it's dry. All right. So, I think I'll go ahead. Oh, no, yeah. I didn't rinse that out very well. Look at, I have my brushes in my vintage Yahtzee cup. Right. Let's see what we can do with the next one. Okay, I'm going to move on to the regular watercolors. These are Derwent watercolors. It's this set. They're in the little tubes. And I just keep them in this tin because it's a tin and it just happens to be the same brand. But I bought the these little pans separately and filled them myself. So I have two waters, one for clean water and one to rinse out the brush. And I'll probably just use this lid as a palette if I need one. I don't know that I'm gonna need one. And I just have a couple brushes here. Need something relatively small. I don't really know anything about brushes, but I like these ones. These are Royal Langnickel. These aren't the high-end ones by any means, but I feel like they are, they're good. They soak up a lot of water and then soak it up into the base of the bristle. Um, so I think that's why I like them. Let's see. So I wanted to kind of do the same color scheme here. So I'm going to start with a red. This is pinkish. I think this brush might be too wide for this too. I'm going to try a different red here. It's the same. Oh, I made a swamp. That's okay. Oops, just put my finger right in it. That's good. That's how much I'm paying attention. I feel like this paper is starting to fray a lot. And I feel like it's not supposed to do that. There's red. Let's see how this orange goes. Bye, Yvette. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us. Oh, there it goes. So I am thinking, and I know this isn't mini album making, but I'm thinking about doing a mini album where instead of using designer paper, I stamp or ink blend all of the pages. I don't know why I want to do that, because it sounds like a lot of work. But I've never done that before, I think. I've never made a mini album, any kind of scrapbooky album, where it didn't have the designer paper in it. Alright, let's see. Orange, yellow. Try the Shelly color. I hope Yvette is making us dinner too. And I hope it's grilled cheese. Oops. Keep on going into the dirty water to get more water in the pan, and I'm probably not supposed to do that. This got stamped funny. There's like a blob of ink right here that I didn't notice before. And light blue. I don't know if any one of these are light blue. Let's see. Oop. Oh, geez. I forgot I have other brushes. I could have just picked up some water with a different brush. The other one was music. So it was news, music, crime, food, and whatever the other one was. I don't like this blue color very much. It's not my favorite. Okay. Here I think is probably the color that I should have used. Oop. That looks about right, huh? If I can get it darker down in this area. Just putting some water down with the other brush because I wanted to dilute the color on this side. Well, why not? Cool. I was gonna do a background color too, but I'm not sure that I can make something light enough that. Let me get my thing, my palette. Where's that? I'm gonna see if I can make this blue color I'm gonna try to make a little bit of this blue paint super light by just diluting it so I can do it in the background. Let's see. I'm just going to take the water out of this brush that I didn't use. Ooh, there you go. That'll do it. Still seems kind of dark. Yeah, let me try to use my left hand. Let's see. Ooh, now that yellow one is blue. Oh well. Yay. All right. There, that one's done. So, brush pens, real watercolor. Maybe I should put a background on that one too. See how far I get. I'm going to clean out this brush. Set these guys aside. I almost drank that water. It's relatively clean though. So on this last one, I wanted to use the pencils. Oop, that's still wet. So I grab these Nuvo pencils. This is the Brilliantly Vibrant. Highly pigmented watercolor pencils, contains 12. And I have a little bit of experience. I think I have a little bit of experience with watercolor pencils in general, but also with these particular ones. Also, though, I think having fewer colors to choose from really helps me feel less tentative about, you know, choosing a color and putting it down. Thank you, Shanna. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. I've probably drank worse things in my lifetime, though, than weird watercolor water. All right. I think I'm just going to do all the coloring and then go back with the water. Has some fuzz on it. Anybody watched the new Wonder Years spin-off, remake, reboot? we've been watching it, and finally, yesterday, saw an episode where they reveal how it is connected to the original series. So that was pretty cool. But it's really good. Everyone should watch it. Let's see. Oh, Rose. Connor's birthday is next week. He's not going to be with us, though, when we visit. I think it's on Disney Plus. You'll like it. I think you'll really like it. I don't know if it's the pigment or like the blend of whatever the chemicals are in this pencil. But this one colors, it's just the pigment is laying down a lot differently. Also probably not doing a very good job, but it feels different than the other pencils that I just used, so. There is. Oh, one of these is purple. My vision is so bad I can't even tell the difference in those two. Oh, that's right. They have twin birthdays. Just putting some green in here too. I'm not sure why. Okay. So instead of trying to use the water brush again, I'm gonna use maybe this one. This one is pretty small. This is the one that I was using. But we'll see how impatient I get and if I have to move to the other brush. Need my swamp water to clean off my brush. Don't let me drink this water. There. Excuse me. Been yawning all day long. Oop. Need a puddle. On to blue. Blue, blue, blue. Whoops. So this reminds me of, and I don't, they probably still make them, but the paint, was it paint by number? But it had little dots of the pigment already on the paper and you would just add water. Does anybody remember that? Is that a thing or did I make that up? Okay, now let's figure out how I can do a background on this. I wonder if I can get some of this pigment into this little thing. I don't know if you guys can see. Probably looks really weird. I'm just trying to get a little bit of the pigment into this little cup so I can make a wash. Just like I did for that last one. I'm gonna try this big brush again. Make sure it's clean. Okay, there's a little bit of color. I don't know how dark it is though. Oh, yeah, that'll work. Okay. This one is definitely a lot lighter. Could probably use one of those it's not like a pencil sharpener. It's almost like a zester. You just run your pencil or your pastel across it to get pigment into a pile. I don't know what that thing is called. But that seemed to work out okay. All right, let's see what we can do with this one. Oop. Stuck and stuck. Oop. Whoops. Oh. Right. I think I'll do the same thing with this. that has orange in it though. Try this one. You can use the same brush. And dilute it. Can barely see that one. Can barely see this one now either. So this one is the watercolor one. This one is the brush pen. And this one is the pencil. I feel like the pencil gave me more control and the color looks more even. Just because I had to color it first. And once these dry, I'm gonna cut them down a little bit and put them on some card bases, and I'll probably use one of these matching sentiments from the stamp set. I used the Just a Note recently, but there's a Thinking of You here that I like, that I might use. Don't know why I'm out of frame all the time tonight. I think I must have moved my camera up a little higher. Thanks everyone for joining me. Please, if you have a second, give us a like before you leave for the evening. Thank you so much for joining me for another video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for joining.